Hey everyone, so I'm about due on part two of my IEP and 504 plan. I know I posted this like a way while back and more like in the beginning of school of last year, but being that school ended, and why not still talk about it? So part two is focusing more on my 504 plan and really focusing on college and what type of accommodations that I had as a legally blind individual. For me, I feel like college was a little bit rough in the beginning. I went to community college for 3 years because I was doing that part-time and working at the time, and I got my associate's degree. And when I was getting my associate's degree, my accommodations there were very similar to high school, with having a note taker, audio, books, and anything on tape. I think the technology was starting to get a little bit better, but that was still around 2010. Like it was starting to, like, from the CD to more of things going on to computer at that time. Now for me, I did have the testing center if I wanted to go, or depending on the professor, they might put me in a different classroom, like, so I didn't have to go to the testing center, so just so I had extra time there. I did feel like, because, now I'm in the adult stage, that I had more control over my accommodations, and not much really has changed, like, at the associate level. But when I went back to school for my bachelor's degree, I really noticed a difference in just how technology improved over the years, because I took a few years off after my associates. I worked, and then I decided I wanted to go back to school again for my bachelor's. So I went back, and again, I had audiobooks, which was much more convenient because I could use my tablet now. I could use my computer. I just had more access to them than actually having like a CD and large print books. I didn't really need large print books because I just got the regular books if I wanted them, just for me, just so I had them. But I also had access to the digital books online, which made things a lot easier, to where I could just take my tablet to class and follow along that way. With college, they shared their PowerPoints or any extra notes. I did have a note taker as well for my bachelor's. That was another student usually. Sometimes it would be the professor giving their notes, but it was more of another student in class who would take extra notes. But a lot of the stuff was more on PowerPoint, so I had access to the PowerPoint. And which, to me, that made it so much easier, because, sometimes when someone takes notes for you, it can be a little daunting, even though it seems like, oh, here it is. But, that might not be the way how you take notes. But not being able to fully see the board, and now with my hearing loss, it was hard to, see and hear at the same time. So a lot of it, like, I was able to tape record the lectures, which was great. So I could go back, so I could get notes that way as well. So that was a plus, that I was able to do that. And I could also do that from my iPad, like, being that they had an app on there that I could record that way instead of actually having a regular tape recorder, where I think in the beginning, like at my associate's level, I did have an original tape recorder, like an actual tape recorder, before iPad got all advanced. And then same for my master's degree. That's where I feel like it changed a little bit. I feel like the school wanted me to be, I guess, more independent, and me taking my own notes, which can be very daunting, of taking your own notes when you can't see everything, or you can't hear like everything that's going on, that again, I was able to use my iPad. That was my lifesaver. But sometimes I still felt like I was missing things, being that for some reason the disability center didn't want me to have a note taker. I don't know why, and which I think having a physical note taker still would have been beneficial to me, but I didn't fight it because I ended up passing. Everything worked out for me. But I think the combination of having like multiple ways of note taking, with having someone literally take notes for you, having a device that takes notes for you, and if you want to, like yourself personally wanted to take notes your own way, I think those are like my recommendations and best practices. Like if you do, even if whatever level of education you're at, especially now, use that technology that's available, because books are now on tape. You're not getting, like how I mentioned in my first half of grade school, of me getting my books that are like huge print, which for me and my vision, that didn't fully help me because I still couldn't see. Even though it was the way how my vision is, it cut off words. I have a very like small field of vision. So for me, large print always isn't the best, which I typically, for my large print, like 14 to 16 point font. So yes, I can still see print for myself. And I still like audiobooks. Even though I can see print, if it's a large document, or how is school, you're reading chapters, I love my audio. I am so thankful for audio, because I don't know if I would have been able to do it if I had to read it, because just the way how my vision is, my eyes get tired, I might skip lines, and not that I'm looking for someone to give stuff to me, but just the extra tools to help me to be able to succeed and get in my degree. Just everything has advanced, and I think for future graduates who are in the blind and low vision community, I think it's going to be so much better if you do go to school like now, because of the technology, compared to back in grade school. And honestly, I have no idea how people did it before me, who were born before me, and how technology, and not saying that technology sometimes may not even be the best, but I think it is so much beneficial now. I think it just definitely helped me in my career and education. Maybe not my career at the moment, but definitely education-wise, technology has saved me a lot of stress and heartache of, oh, I can't see it, or I'm gonna miss something in class, I'm gonna miss something in lectures, whatever the case may be. Use your tools that you got, even if you take more accommodations than like what you might not necessarily need. Just take them and use what you want and see what works for you. And honestly, even though at grad level, they wanted me to take my own notes, if you don't feel that is right for you, don't fight for what works best for you. That's what I have to say. For me, it worked out all fine and dandy with my education, but do what's best for you. Talk to your teachers, professors, whatever level of education that you're at. Do what's best. And this is my conclusion of part 2 of my IEP and 504 plan. Bye, everyone.